one. Okay, guys, we are here with Vitaliy in order to build a health tech app with using only vibe coding. The goal is to build a functional prototype using two different approaches and two different profiles. Me personally, I'm more a business guy, product oriented, but I'm not engineer. And I used Lovable for building an app that will manage. It will be kind of a system for parents having type 1 diabetic children. It's actually very personal to me because my kid have type 1 diabetes, and I'm struggling in a daily basis managing the glucose levels. So I thought that it could be interesting to mix the CGM data and artificial intelligence in order to somehow prompt the data, see dependencies, ask different questions. It's a bit more for knowledge and reasoning than to really give some actual proposition on how much insulin to use, etc. So it's not a pure medical app. It could evolve to that in the future, but for now it's more like an assistant as a prototype. So what I did actually, I started to use it. Let's say that I'm new to Lovable. It was one of the first apps that I'm building. So I started with a very generic prompt explaining my whole idea very briefly. What I want to do, and the app actually created a short landing page and started to create the screens. So here what you see, it's actually a work after, I don't know, maybe 100 or 200 prompts after that. But at the beginning, what I had as the first screen was just the statistics with not so many numbers here, and of course the AI chat, which didn't have any knowledge. So actually, when I prompt the chat, I didn't have in the chat memory all the statistics that came from the Dexcom. But my first problem was actually connecting the Dexcom. So I did a lot of things here outside of Lovable in order to create an API development account with the Dexcom. This actually didn't work. So Lovable proposed me another solution to use like another app of Dexcom, which is used to follow users, other diabetic users, in order to help them and follow them at a distance. So it proposed kind of workaround solution to easily connect to the Dexcom. It kind of worked. So this was the first major problem that I encountered. Then I prompted what to debug everything, because actually it didn't work properly. What to fix it. The chart didn't show the real data. Even now, as you can see, when I change the hours here, it doesn't update. I need to manually update everything, and then it switched to something workable. But here again, the last data that got, it's not up to date, so I need to refresh again, and maybe in the third time it will show the actual data, which is now a bit high. Yeah, a lot of debugging actually. This was my main problem. And another thing that was difficult for me was to create a knowledge base, kind of knowledge for the AI, because actually didn't took all the days. Even here, as you can see, I prompted how many how much information the chat owns. I decided to, for example, just to provide the last 8 hours, and all the rest of the memory is kind of averages for the glucose, which didn't help me a lot because actually it's not something that I wanted to do. And another road blockers maybe was actually the main problem. So if I, for example, disconnect, I go to the landing page and I try to reconnect again. Sometimes the connection with the Dexcom doesn't work properly. As you can see now, I disconnected, and when I try to connect, let's check if now it's working. For some reason, it doesn't. Yeah. Okay. So now maybe this is something that I managed to fix at the end. But yeah, this is the whole thing. I spent actually a lot of time, at least, I don't know, at least 30, 40 hours of working, even maybe more. I created 3 different versions of the app. I can even show you here. Maybe this was the first version, even before I got the name of the app. Just to show you what it looked like. Didn't work at all. Okay, so this was the first app that I created. It was connected to the sandbox, not real data. So at one point it didn't make any sense to test because the data didn't change and it was the old data. So I started a new project here, and I created another app, which is more close to the one that you already saw. So here is kind of a landing page. And you can see here, actually the chat is in a different. So I struggled a little bit with the UX, actually, how to display stuff. I had some kind of dashboard, then you can see how much insulin you logged, etc. The diagram is very different one. So there was a way to log the meals and the insulin through the chat. But anyway, so this is what I did with more than 50 hours maybe of prompting and vibe coding. So I don't know, Vitya, what do you think?
Yeah, it was interesting when you like discussed this internally in our Slack, how you approached it. So maybe I can also share my screen now.
Yeah.
So what happened? Dany shared that he plans to build this app, and he had some problems. So I said, okay, this is a very cool and interesting way actually to test how a non-technical person approaches Lovable or tools like Lovable for vibe coding, and how a technical person can approach similar types of tools. My tool of choice is Replit. We built it basically almost the same app, but I'm gonna share a little bit about the principles. So in a very high level overview, so we have like high level prompting. We're defining the project, the direction that we want to go. We do the initial code, we generate that with the help of the AI. And then we start like iterative refinement, providing feedback for debugging, and we try to do alignment all of the way. And we repeat this. The principles are like, this is the cycle. The principles, I'm gonna use a slide from one of our workshops that we are currently doing in Camplight. The principles are to do test-driven development, either with human in the loop to test and validate and share and give feedback to the AI that this is working or not working. Another way, the second principle is actually about working in small steps and not going into big rabbit holes. Try to do it incrementally and to focus on modularity and then isolation. It means to focus on small features and not to do a couple of things at a time. This, at least for me, improves the overall progress, the overall productivity when you start developing. And this is the final how it looks. This is the final version. So basically, we have the same concept idea. I'm just sharing you how it all started through the Replit history of the prompts. So we have like a general direction, a web-based glucose monitoring app that connects with Dexcom. We have like Dexcom API, data, an interactive graph, AI-powered chatbot that collects the data, and real-time data synchronization. Visual reference, some style guides that are helping the AI not to hallucinate, but to be directed and guided. And we have like this type of landing page, and this is the final product where you have the glucose, the trends, you have the assistant, you have a background agent behind the assistant that is logging all of your information that you provide. Example, if the kid ate something, the background agent is logging this information into memory, long-term memory, so it can do some kind of inference based on that in the future and do trend spotting analysis and all kinds of other things. So we start with this idea. I'm going to show you how it looks in the beginning. This is the very first build from Replit. It's using sandbox data, it's using synthetic data, and it's done in like the first couple of prompts. And then if we look at the history, we have like an application to display real-time glucose data. We fix the chat interface. We do some small prompts in terms of, for example, here is just sandboxed. We don't have any type of OpenAI or any other LLM integration. So I've tried to, in a couple of prompts, this is my prompting history, in a couple of prompts to focus on small isolated tasks like saved progress at the end of the loop, removing any API keys to do data sanitization, improving the Dexcom connection, updating the code to retrieve configuration, real-time glucose data with Dexcom share instead of the other Dexcom API. So here we have like adjusting the glucose chart, focusing on different aspects, sometimes on the chat, sometimes on the chart, sometimes on the glucose, sometimes here is a little bit more of the final product, where you can see we have different types of configurations. Here we also have the filtering and the events for the event memory, and also for the settings for the child and how it's in different contexts about that. So in terms of prompting, I believe that if you apply the engineering approach, it will be way better, as the final outcome will be more incremental instead of doing huge chunks of work once at a time. And you will be actually the judge which one looks better, which one feels better. For me, actually, the Lovable is producing very cool cool looking products. But with Replit, I think I have more control and more step and granular approach. But yeah, I'm curious what everyone will share.
Maybe one last thing. What maybe to speak why we did all this. I mean, why we do have a need for a prototype. Because actually, after the your last version, we decided actually to publish this in some kind of group for parents with kids with diabetes, just in order to validate somehow the idea to get better users insights. And it actually worked pretty well. We just posted it in one group here in Bulgaria. We received about 7 or 6 people that wanted to try the app. And we received a lot of people that already tried to do such things. They use some kind of algorithms. We actually received a lot of ideas for future features that we can add to the app. So the main usage that people may say from such prototypes, it's not really a working app that you can directly commercialize and put in production, but maybe just to test and to validate mainly the market with it. So it's super important. We believe even big companies need to have prototypes and validate their ideas before to build them actually with engineering teams and putting a lot of investment in those things. So yeah.
Yeah, always prototype. Do not invest in expensive guesses.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.